Original Charleston homes are often defined by their grandeur, much like this one. We're at the Joseph Manigault House, where clearly the staircase steals the show. But it's an unassuming piece of furniture that brings us here, not just defined by its craftsmanship, but also by a fluke of the times. But first, we're going to head back upstairs where we meet with Chief of Education, Elise Reagan. Well, Elise, thank you so much for having us here. This is such a beautiful home. It is magnificent, truly, and it has an incredibly rich, interesting history. So maybe you could walk us through all about the Joseph Manigault House.
Yes, of course. Well, welcome to the Joseph Manigault House. We're so happy to have you here today. This beautiful structure was built in 1803, and it's a federal style design of the architecture, which means it is one of the earliest and best examples of that federal style anywhere in the American South. So with that, you'll see a lot of design elements like symmetry and balance throughout the property. You'll see a lot of Greek and Roman motifs. So columns on piazzas are a big one that everyone can see from the outside. You're also going to see a lot of curvature. So we do have some round rooms or curved walls that you see throughout the property as well.
And that staircase.
And that
so tell us about the staircase.
The staircase,
it's got an interesting history.
It is our crowning jewel. It is the most beautiful part of the entire house, in my humble opinion. It is a cantilever staircase, and it is the first cantilever staircase built anywhere in the city of Charleston.
And what does that mean?
So cantilever just means it's freely floating, which means there's no external supports that you can see underneath the actual staircase.
Also, it created this amazing entrance for guests, for parties, but there's two entrances to this house.
Yes, we do. We are very fortunate to have two entrance points. One of the entrance points, the one that's directly under that staircase, that would be considered your carriage entrance. It was closest to the street, easiest for guests to walk up, and as soon as they got under that staircase, and that was a huge show of wealth for the Manigault family and a huge sign that you are about to have the best night of your life, so get ready for it.
Yes. And we talk about the plaster work, it is everywhere. And you look around the rooms, and just in this room alone, you see the crown moldings. Tell us a bit more about this.
Yes, so the plaster work in the house, about 70% of it is original to the home. That's the decorative plaster work. And if you look into a room and you see that it has very ornate decorative plaster work, that means that that's an entertaining space. Like, of course, in this room here, which is our drawing room, which is your entertainment heart of the house, you're going to see a lot of decorative work in here, not only on that trim work, but also on the mantelpieces as well.
You also have a lot of objects in this home as well. Can you give us kind of an overview of where they came from and what you have on display?
Yes, so in our property, we don't have any original Manigault piece that would have been in the actual property, but we do have several pieces that the Manigault family have donated to us over time that you can see throughout the property. Now, all the rest of the furniture is going to come from the Charleston Museum's collection. Roughly about 60% of it is Charleston made of mahogany, and so it's very accurate to the time period when the Manigaults would have lived here. The furniture also dates to that time period, so 1700s, late 1700s, 1800s, so things that the Manigaults would have likely used to furnish their home.
One of those pieces I'm so excited to take a closer look at. So Curator Chad Stewart, he's going to show us in the bedchamber a piece that brings us here. There's always a story behind everything, and I can't wait to learn more. Thank you so much, Elise.
Thank you. Thank you.
You walk into this room and you see many magnificent things, but it's a very unassuming piece that brings us into this room. So tell us more about what you're standing in front of.
It is. One of the most significant pieces of furniture in the Joseph Manigault House is this piece, which is commonly referred to as the Boston chest. It's obviously a Charleston-made piece due to its construction materials, all of the typical characteristics attributed to the Robert Walker shop here in Charleston. It was purchased by a collector in the Northeast who was examining the interior construction and had the top off. And across an interior support and pencil it was signed Boston, October 1805. And so it's obviously a Charleston-made piece, so that raised the question, why is it labeled Boston? Researchers started digging, and it turns out there was an enslaved cabinet maker working in Charleston in the late 18th century who worked in 2 cabinet shops plus a silver shop before being freed by about 1790, whose name was Boston. It's extremely fine handwriting, which is pretty exceptional because a formerly enslaved person was not allowed to learn to read or write. It really just speaks to this person's abilities.
With Lowcountry history ingrained into every piece of furniture and every square foot, the Joseph Manigault House is a living window into the past. For more information on tours and other events, please visit charlestonmuseum.org.